The best thing about working as a copywriter in the info product world and the coaching space is that one really solid client can change your life. Over the past 2 years, I've had multiple clients pay me over $10,000 a month. I've had some pay me up to 40 or even 50K a month. And I've had many clients that have paid me 6 figures during our time working together. And this is rare. If you're in the agency world, you're not gonna have a real estate agent that pays you 10 grand a month for lead gen. It's just not gonna happen because those businesses don't scale the way that coaching businesses do. And typically with an info product business, you're gonna scale really lean. So what that does is it creates an opportunity for service providers to be able to get a piece of that pie. If you get somebody to 100K a month and you have them on a 10% rev share, boom, there's your $10,000 a month client. And the other thing that it does, once you do this, and it's not that hard, and I'll go over that in a second, but once you do this, it solves every other problem that you could possibly have. If you don't know how to get clients right now, that fixes that because now you have a really good case study and you can go to other people and say, hey, I got this guy to 100K a month doing this, this, and this. Do you want me to help you do the same? If you feel like you're in over your head and you feel like you don't know how to get results for clients, once you take somebody from where they are to making multi 6 figures a month and you get a fat rev share because of that, now you're like, okay, I understand how to do this thing, I understand what I'm doing here. So without further ado, let me show you how this is done. First, I just want to show you some proof that this is possible and that I'm actually doing this. I'm not just up here rambling about something that I've never done. Here's a wire transfer that I literally got today at the time I'm recording this for $25,000 and some change from a client. Next, I have a wire that I got on the 10th of last month for $12,900. Another one on the 30th of December for 11K. Here we've got 10,800, and lastly we've got 19,600, and these are just in the last couple months. And each of these wires are from single clients. I used to have to beg for $1,000 monthly retainers, and I was just trying to stack as many possible clients as I could. And then one day a light bulb went off when I made 5 figures in a month from just one client. I was like, why the fuck was I ever wasting all of my time just working with people that couldn't pay me that much money? So there's 3 phases to getting a client that pays you 10K a month and potentially more, and I'm gonna go over these 3 phases while also showing you how I got my first whale client. So phase 1 here, get your foot in the door. Oftentimes you're not gonna find a 10K a month client right off the bat. You're gonna basically have to build them. You're gonna have to create them. And that's totally fine. All you need is a chance. So you can start by offering them one thing, whether it's a sales page, a VSL script, a VSL funnel, email marketing, short form scripting. Just do anything you can to get your foot in the door and start getting reps with them, start building trust, show them that you know what you're doing, and show them that you're actually competent, that you're capable of delivering on what you say you're going to do. And do this any way that you can, even if it means that you're undercharging or you're only working on a rev share, that's okay. Because what this does is it allows you to see under the hood of their business, and you can see, okay, well this person has a good VSL now that I built this for them, but they're not sending any emails to their list. Or maybe all of the calls that they're getting are unqualified, so there's something that you can fix there. Or maybe they're just not getting enough leads into their pipeline, so you can help them with short form scripting and helping them get more attention. So now I'm gonna show you exactly what this process looked like for me. This was in 2022 when I first got into the info product agency copywriting world. I was tracking all of my client revenue on this little sheet that you see here. So if you look at these numbers, I got 2,200 bucks from this client, 1,000 bucks here, 1,200 bucks here, 5,000, 500, and then a bunch of really low ticket clients. The next month was the same story. 2,000, 1,000, 1,000, 1,200, 900, 1,500, 1,000. I was making some money, but there's no whale clients here. If I wanted to scale, I had to go out and get more clients, which is fine, but it's just harder to scale. And for some quick context, for most of the people that I was working with at this point, I was just running their email marketing, or for the $5,000 client that you saw the month before, I built him a VSL funnel, but that was just a one-time project. So this was a great way to get to 10 to 15K a month, but if I wanted to get to 50 and eventually 100, it just wasn't gonna scale this way. And then in July, I got this one client who paid me 3K to build him a new sales page for this offer that he was launching. And while I started working with him, I realized that there were other gaps or other bottlenecks that were in his sales process. I built him this sales page, but he needed more traffic and his emails could be better and he didn't have a great VSL. So over the following couple months, I just started to take note of that. He still only paid me $2,000 the following month if I look here. But again, I'm just starting to be aware of like where else I can help him and what the other drop-off points might be that could be be causing him to make less money. Next month, again, only at 2K, but now I have like a really solid understanding of his business and a really solid vantage point to be able to assess, okay, I think this is the solution to the problems that you're facing. So October 2022 is when everything changed for me. He paid me $5,000 this month, and the reason it increased from 2K to 5K that month is because I pitched him on a webinar build. For the previous couple months, I was doing his email marketing for him on a retainer, and he had this $1,500 offer that he wasn't really doing anything with. We'd pitch it in the emails sometimes, and I was like, okay, this would be a good thing to sell over a webinar. Let me go learn how to build a webinar. And I went through that process. I read a couple books, watched a handful of videos, and I was like, okay, I know how to build a webinar, let me pitch him on a webinar. And he paid me $3K to build that for him. And so if I go back over to the phases to get a 10K a month client over here, as you can see, phase 2 is find the bottlenecks. That's exactly what I was doing. I started working with him, I started seeing other problems that might be preventing him from scaling, and I was just aware, I was attentive, I was thinking about, okay, is he sending emails consistently? Are they getting qualified leads? How many booked calls are they getting monthly? What other offers do they sell? Do they have a good VSL that explains the offer and who it's for? I was just paying attention to all of these things, and I found a potential problem, and I considered the potential solution to that problem. So then I was like, okay, I'll just offer you the solution, and I charged him $3K up front. But the big piece to this is because I was building something new for him that he wasn't doing already, I now had more leverage because I controlled that entire process. I was the one building the webinar from start to finish, so it performs well. Then I'm in a position where I have some leverage and I can be like, okay, just give me 10% of whatever we make from the webinar. And this singular rev share ended up changing my life. Not even because I made a good amount of money from it, but because it showed me that it's possible. And that led me to be able to get a 40K a month client or a 50K a month client. So if I go back over here to this tracking sheet, I made 3K with this client the next month, but that was because it took the month to build the webinar. And then in December of 2022, we launched the webinar, and boom, $12,900 from one client. That was my first 5-figure client, and I was like, holy shit, I'm onto something. This is scalable. I can get to 50K a month and eventually 100K a month. And the reason I was able to charge this much is because I had him on a $3,000 a month retainer, and I made him $99,000. So I was able to charge him an additional $9,900 on a rev share. So that's exactly what phase 1 and phase 2 look like in action. Now, let's get over to phase 3. Phase 3 is implement and revise. So once you do exactly what I just showed you, you're in a really good spot. You now have the opportunity to make this client into an absolute banger, and you'll never have to worry about acquisition again. You'll never have to feel like you're in over your head and you don't know how to solve problems that might come up on the fly, because you are in full control of a part of their sales process. And if you just go above and beyond to do as good as you possibly can and get incredible results, then you will be in a position to scale to 50K and 100K a month and become a real authority in this space. But that doesn't mean that once you do this and you start getting good rev shares, you can just totally take your eye off the ball. Things will always need to be tweaked and nurtured and adjusted, and if you don't stay attentive to what's going on inside of their business and other potential areas that you can help them in, then it's gonna crumble eventually. And especially once a client starts paying you 5 figures a month, they think of you as a partner. They don't want you to only talk to them once a week or once a month and then they never hear from you again. They want you to be there in the weeds with them. And because you're being paid that much, it makes sense to do so. So in phase 3, as long as you do everything in your power to get incredible results and really get good at marketing, at copywriting, and understand how to sell coaching and info products online, if you hone your craft, you're fucking golden. Like with this client in particular, I think the most amount of money they ever paid me in a month was around 18K. But I learned a lot in that process that allowed me to then go and get clients that have paid me 25K or 30K or 40K. And I had this credibility and conviction when I spoke that allowed me to hop on a sales call and say, okay, we're gonna do this, this, and this for you. I know this will work. I know this will make you money. Let's try it out. Give me 10% rev share and let's scale this bitch to the moon. But I started exactly where you likely are right now. I was just getting any clients that I could. I was charging $500, $1,000. I'd be lucky to get a $2,000 client or a $5,000 client. And it was fine, it was making me some money, but I wanted to really scale, and I just knew that that model wasn't gonna be the answer. So if you're like the way that I was, and you don't wanna keep dealing with lower ticket clients, and you wanna get a whale, you wanna get somebody that'll pay you the equivalent of a doctor's salary, I can show you exactly how to do this inside of my coaching program, Artisan Lab. I've got Adam here making 15K a month doing this, I've got Sean making 30K a month, Cabrin's making 35K a month, Breyer 20K a month, Dean 27K a month, Otavio hit 105K a month with this model, and Jace hit 50K a month, and they're all doing the exact thing that I just outlined in this video. It's not rocket science. As long as you build the foundation and you start to understand copywriting and the fundamentals of marketing, you can do this. So if you want to join me and all the other successful young gentlemen that I just showed you, click the link in the description and go check out Artisan Lab, where you'll be able to work directly with me, get hands-on support, and I'll help you scale without having to do hundreds of pitches per day or deal with crappy clients that you don't even want to work with. So anyway, hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, like, subscribe, comment, share this with your grandma, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.